Swallowed Star 479 Absolute Beginning. Chapter 479 Absolute Beginning. Translator, Translation Nation Editor, Translation Nation. Yuxiang Mountain Common Region, Wanyu Towers 9th level. Sitting beside the railing, with a glance one could see the distant mountains and spring water. Then the Virtual Universe Company, seeing how well the Ping Hai Company was doing with its great growth and its huge scale, hence they bought the firm. Also, back then they were prepared to offer only 6 times. Su Xian sat at the other end of the table, explaining to Luo Feng how she became a core member of the Virtual Universe Company. Our company's capital increased tenfold in a short while. That was very dangerous back then. Luckily your younger brother Luo Hua got his people to help circulate the funds. Finally, before you left Primal Chaos City, we reached the goal. Luo Feng sat there and stared at his wife as she spoke. He had mixed feelings within. He felt incredibly moved from the depths of his heart. He truly never really expected his strong business-minded wife of his to work so hard. All for the sake of standing beside him, to be closer to him. Geniuses will make others feel the pressure. Babata's voice resounded in his mind. When they are with other geniuses, they will only see themselves get left further and further behind. No matter how much harder they work, the distance will only grow. Hence, the friends of geniuses are mostly all geniuses. Luo Feng was stunned. Right. His high school friends from when he was young, just how many of them does he actually keep in touch with now? Even his childhood friend who grew up with him, someone as close as a brother Meiwan, he only occasionally meets with him in the virtual universe. Even when it comes to his relatives, he only sees them occasionally. However, Rongjun, Wuka, etc., he meets much more often. Watching her own husband make it in the universe, with his status rising further. Your wife naturally felt happy and proud. However, you were leaving her further and further behind, even to the point of meeting her only once in 10 years. What kind of impact will that have on your wife? Hence, your wife wanted to get closer to you, stand by your side, and not get left behind. Babata exclaimed. Babata's voice resounded in his mind. Looking at his wife before him who was still speaking, just like that, I became a core member of the Virtual Universe Company. I am capable, right? Su Xian shifted her nose and raised her head proudly, following which she looked embarrassed at Luo Feng. The companies buy over and so on. I never once asked for your opinion. You are not angry, right? You passed all responsibility to me back then to control the company, and even said you were training in Primal Chaos City, with no time to... Silence. Luo Feng extended his arm to hold hers. Su Xian. Luo Feng looked at his wife who was in front of him. Su Xian was stunned. Sorry. Luo Feng said softly. She could hear the guilt and shame in his voice. Su Xian's eyes teared up. Virtual Universe Headquarters, it was an incredibly vast continent in the universe. In comparison, even planets and stars seemed like little dots. Primal Region members Bolin and Longyun who are heading to the Primal Secret Region, you'll have to follow the night and leave with him. Wait here for the night. Absolute Beginning members, you'll head that way. Have a seat in that gray meteorite universe ship. Heaven and Ground members, you'll sit in that second purple ship. Last phase members, you'll take that third largest ship, the black one. Standing in the meeting room was a silver-robed lady. Her voice resounded, simultaneously pointing through the transparent glass at the 3 ships that had just landed. You can leave right now. Rumble. 816 youths stood up together. The 4 secret regions are all in different places. We brothers will only be able to meet in the virtual universe in the future. We'll leave first. Goodbye. The friends said their goodbyes. Bolin and Long Yun remained in the meeting room. The rest of them followed the exit out and waited outside, naturally forming their groups and heading to the different ships. Your Majesty Rongjun, Your Majesty Luo Feng, Your Majesty Qian Shui. That meteorite-looking ship's cabin door opened and a handsome-looking and polite man with blood-red long hair smiled as he welcomed the 8 members of the Absolute Beginning. While entering the ship, Luo Feng turned back to look at the meeting room. It was a pity that from the outside, one couldn't see through the windows of the meeting room. But Luo Feng could feel, within, that someone was looking at him. Bolin, you are my current level's rival. Luo Feng thought, following which he entered. After a while, the 3 F-grade ships, with a rumble, flew and left. Within the meeting room, Bolin and Long Yun were awaiting the 9-blade knight. They both looked out the glass at the 3 ships that were leaving. Luo Feng. Rongjun. Long Yun looked on, that heart yearning for victory was burning strong. I will exceed you 2, definitely. The 3 ships very quickly accelerated to light speed, entering universe transfer. As the Absolute Beginning, Heaven and Ground and Last Phase secret regions were at different locations, the 3 ships had long separated and headed in their own directions. Dark Universe. A meteorite was swiftly flying, accelerating more and more, 20 times light speed, 21 times. Within the meeting room of the dining hall of the meteorite. Welcome all of you to the Absolute Beginning region. There were 9 undyings at the long table and 8 universe-level youths. The person speaking was a tall and sturdy man with 18 horns and scales all over his face. His entire being emitted a strong and fierce aura. I, Meteorite Emperor, will protect you as you head towards the Absolute Beginning region. Thank you, Meteorite Emperor. Luo Feng, Rongjun, and the rest of the 8 bowed. Haha, Meteorite Emperor laughed loudly. The scales on his face creased slightly, making one's heart palpitate. Let me tell you all first. The 4 secret regions are in completely different locations. They are not even in the same universe country. Ah! Luo Feng and the rest of them were shocked. The territory of a universe country was incredibly vast. The primal region is the closest to the headquarters. It's in the same universe country as the headquarters. Next is the Absolute Beginning, and then the Heaven and Ground region. The last phase region is the furthest away. Meteorite Emperor's voice was like a metal clashing, booming. The Absolute Beginning region you are headed to is about 1.200 million light-years from the headquarters. 1.200 million light-years? Luo Feng, Rongjun, Qian Shui and the others were all shocked as this was an incredibly impossible distance. Even with light speed, it would take 1.200 million years. Right now the ship has already reached 50 times light speed. It will travel for about 3 months in the Dark Universe before reaching the Absolute Beginning region. Meteorite Emperor smiled. Let me first introduce the Absolute Beginning region and give you a brief description of it. Luo Feng and the 8 listened intently. The Absolute Beginning region is actually a universe secret region. However, it was simply given the name. Meteorite Emperor exclaimed, "Our primal universe is the most ancient and incredibly vast universe. It has produced many life forms, trillions of races, etc., with countless warriors. During its evolution, many regions and sectors become galaxies, stars, planets, etc. the galaxies are the most commonly seen. However, due to unknown special circumstances during its evolution, it also produced several special sectors that don't follow its regular laws. Meteorite Emperor exclaimed. These special regions will completely challenge your imagination. The life forms and many strange things within these places, treasures and so on will also challenge your imagination. The eyes of Luo Feng and the others gleamed. These special regions have been called universe secret regions. Everyone is different. Meteorite Emperor exclaimed, different universe secret regions will produce different unexplainable treasures, even terrifying disasters. Universe secret areas also have different levels of danger. Even with the safest ones, a few sector lords will die even as they enter. But most will die while competing and fighting for the treasures within. As for the most dangerous regions, I heard that even a universe country leader wouldn't have much hope of surviving. Meteorite Emperor looked at the shocked faces of the group, smiling. Why, is it shocking? Luo Feng and the 8 were stunned. My God! Universe country leader, these were absolute beings that opened a universe country for trillions of years. Even they had very little hope of survival when entering the most dangerous secret regions. A newly discovered universe secret region, no one can imagine what goes on inside. Meteorite Emperor exclaimed, it may be a disaster inside, or it could even hold an unbelievable miracle. There are big and small regions. The big ones are comparable to a universe country. Meteorite Emperor emphasized, the small ones can go up to the size of a galaxy. Silence. Luo Feng and the others were completely stunned and silent. Such a huge secret region? Comparable to a universe country? And the primal, absolute beginning, heaven and ground and last phase secret regions that belong to the virtual universe have all been excavated and remodeled. They don't hold any more dangers within. Meteorite Emperor laughed. As universe secret regions have incredibly thick amounts of universe energies within, they are very suitable for training. Universe energies? Luo Feng thought. When the universe energies condense into solid form, they form universe crystals. Sector lords, the reason why they can create their own worlds was because of their ability to condense a large amount of universe energy. The absolute beginning region you are headed to is comparable to a starfield. Meteorite Emperor said, living and training in the secret region, the most important and useful thing is the points. Within the company, the points are more effective than gold. Meteorite Emperor's words had indeed filled the youths with anticipation towards the secret regions. However, it was obvious that even the safest of the newly discovered regions required at least a sector lord to enter. Unless it was an already excavated and remodeled one like the absolute beginning region. Time flowed. Days passed and in the blink of an eye, 26 days had passed. We are arriving at the absolute beginning region soon. During my 30 years in Primal Chaos City, I passed 5 levels of the Heavenly Bridge. According to the 10 times reward, my points have reached 30,360. Luo Feng calculated within his resting room. Luckily, I earned more points while in Primal Chaos City, otherwise it'll be hard to acquire them. If it weren't for the 10 times reward, passing 5 levels would only give him 3,100 points. It was because it was 10 times that it reached 31,000 points. Right now, they had already left Primal Chaos City. Passing any levels of the Heavenly Bridge wouldn't yield the 10 times reward anymore. Come out. Meteorite Emperor's voice resounded throughout the ship. We've arrived at the absolute beginning region, we'll begin universe travel now. Shua. Luo Feng stood up, his eyes filled with excitement. They've finally arrived at the absolute beginning secret region.